Good Friday evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609 in Central Texas, USA on a warm day. I'll tell you how warm in just a second. It's actually 86 degrees outside, a little humid, but there's two reasons I didn't do this video outside. One is there's gnats. They drive me nuts. Well, they're not many. It only takes two or three, and they get right in your ears. Never mind, enough said about that. But just as I was getting ready to go, thinking, well, okay, the hell with the gnats, set my tripod up, put the camera on it, and my neighbor about a quarter mile away starts up a lawnmower that runs on diesel or something. I mean, it's the loudest lawnmower. It doesn't have a muffler on it, okay? So you may be able to hear it inside here. I can hear it right now. But anyway, having said that, can any of you remember freshman initiation in high school? Did any of you even have it? We did. Freshman initiation was a big deal in Kennedy, Texas in 1959, 60, 61. Yeah, for many years. And it was an all-day event. Your punishment never ended if you were a freshman. But anyway, for me, I'll tell you what happened to me. I don't remember all of it. I just remember pieces of it. But I was all of 14 years old, freshman in high school, first year freshman or whatever you call it. Anyway, the morning of initiation day, the seniors picked me up at home. I lived out in the country 3 miles from town. They drove out there to get me. They wanted me. They wanted this boy. Oh yeah, because I was kind of the class comedian clown. You know, I made a lot of jokes and stuff. Anyway, I had a lot of fun. But anyway, they did. They picked me up. You had to have, well, first of all, you had to wear certain clothes. I don't remember what it was. And you had to have a whole garlic hanging around your neck. That was one of the things. I hated garlic at that age. Not too bad now. But anyway, one of the guys that picked me up was named Howard Ponish. I don't know if he's still alive or not. But if he is, Howard, I owe you. Anyway, so anyway, they picked me up. And I thought, hell, I'm dead. I mean, I won't even be alive when I get to school. So anyway, on the way into town, they painted my face, painted my hair. They were supposed to use stuff that you could, you know, wash off or wash, you know, get out of your hair. You know, they didn't. Some of it was yeesh, you know. But anyway, yeah, they had me all fixed up by the time I got to school, I guarantee you. And then when you get to school, it's an all-day event. I mean, when you're walking down the hall, if you see a senior, you were supposed to get on your knees and do this, and walking down the hall, and what do I see? A mighty, mighty senior approaching me. And then there was something else you had to say about a lowly, lowly freshman. That's me. Yeah, every time. And there's a lot of seniors. But you know, it's only a 2-level high school, a little bitty building. You couldn't get away from them. So anyway, and then that goes on all day. They just harass the crap out of you. You got to take a bite of your garlic if you don't bow and scrape and all kind of stuff. Anyway, it was a mess. Then the last thing at the end of the day, you go into, everybody files into the auditorium, and you know, the freshmen sit in the front, the sophomores and juniors sit behind the freshmen, and then up on the stage is a whole gang of the seniors, and they would call individual freshmen up to torture, so to speak. Well, I'll remember one thing clearly. There was this girl named Janice, and she was beautiful, and I'm sure that's why they called her. But anyway, they called her up on the stage and blindfolded her first, and she had pretty hair. She had pretty hair until she got up on the stage. They went to work on her. But anyway, they put her in a chair, and they were talking to her, and of course they blindfolded her too. They blindfolded her, and they were telling her about all these tortures that she was fixing to endure. And one of them was they were going to lift her legs up and jam her feet down into a bucket or a tub of broken glass. And they'd rattle, you know, they had glass there, and they would rattle it, and they would let her feel it with her hands and so forth. So she actually believed that in front of her was a tub of broken glass. But what it actually was a tub full of crushed ice. Okay, we knew it. Most of us did. She didn't. So anyway, she was struggling. I mean, yeah, they actually held her. Yeah. Gee, man. Could you do that today? No way. Everybody there would have been put in prison for life. But anyway, they got her up in the air, and she was trying to keep her feet up so they didn't get cut. And finally, they just dropped her down into that crushed glass, or she thought, the crushed ice. She fainted. She just went poof. And then I thought, hell, they killed her. I mean, our prettiest girl in our class, and they killed her. Anyway, she just fainted. Yeah, it scared them too, because they thought, uh-oh, maybe we overdid it this time. But then, there were a lot of other things that went on. Anyway, while you're pondering your own freshman initiation, I'll have a little beer. This is beer 30, by the way. And it's also Friday night. TGIF for all you guys that are still working. But anyway, that was freshman initiation in Kennedy, Texas. And yeah, high school was pretty neat because back then, most of the kids smoked cigarettes. I mean, they did. I was one of them. And I didn't smoke many, but I had them. And I rolled Bugler cigarettes. You bought the tobacco in a pouch, and it came with gummed papers, if you know what I mean. You put the tobacco in, you could lick the paper, and it had a little sticky edge, kind of like a postage stamp, you know what I mean? Gummed papers, you may remember them. But anyway, you could buy a pack of Bugler for like 12 cents and roll about, you might get 15 cigarettes, depending on how much tobacco you put in each cigarette. But anyway, I also had a rolling machine I bought for $2, and it came with 2 packs of Bugler. And so I was good, man. And it came with a little metal tin that you could put, like, I want to say 12 cigarettes in. You could put them in there. And they were neat. They were rolled perfectly. If you rolled your own, they were always lumpy in the middle, you know what I mean? Or, they didn't look real, I mean, they looked weird. They looked like something else, okay? And they probably smoked like something. But anyway, I would roll some cigarettes and keep that tin in my pocket when I'd go to school. I thought that was really neat. And then, of course, later on, when I had the money to buy what we call ready rolls, like Camels and Lucky Strikes and Pall Mall, and maybe Viceroys if you had the money. And yeah, Viceroys they were a filtered cigarette. All those others were just tobacco. That's it. And some guys would, they'd wear T-shirts and they'd roll them up in their sleeve. Some guys would keep them in their sock. Oh yeah, you had to have a macho place to keep your cigarettes. But it was okay to smoke on the parking lot at the school. You couldn't smoke in the lunchroom or in the building anywhere. They actually tried to put a smoking room inside the building. They never did that, I don't think, as far as I know. But what we would do at lunchtime, of course, we'd break for the Creamy, the place to go get hamburgers and stuff. It was a big race to get there. Whoever got there first, kind of a mini celebrity for about 10 minutes. Hamburgers were a quarter. But anyway, and during basketball games, we used to sneak out to the parking lot and sit in somebody's car and smoke cigarettes. Well, there was a football player named Paul, and I won't mention his last name, but he was a big guy. But he got him a brand new Ford Fairlane. I mean, it was a nice car, nice. And of course, he smoked too, like the rest of us. But anyway, he was in the gym watching a basketball game one night with his girlfriend, and we went out in the parking lot. And I don't know how we chose his car, but there were like 4 or 5 of us that got inside of his car because the wind was blowing or something. Anyway, we smoked cigarettes for a while, and then we went back in to watch basketball game. Not good. But anyway, so we get in there and we're sitting down, and we always sat at the highest part, you know what I mean, in the gymnasium, so you could look out on the parking lot and kind of see who was out there necking, not neckhead, but smooching and stuff. We called it necking. Anyway, yeah, because they would kiss each other on the neck. I don't know, they kissed each other all over probably. But having said that, we were sitting up there, and I remember looking at Paul's car, and I thought, boy, howdy, it looks kind of foggy inside his car. And then it occurred to me that, hold on, I think there's somebody walking around my RV. It is. It was. It was somebody walking around my RV. It was Prime Delivery, and they were looking for a place to put a box. But anyway, enough said about that. Anyway, I was looking out the window of the gymnasium, up from the inside out, looking out, and the fog in the car, and I thought, I wonder what's going on out there. Well, anyway, what had happened, we had one idiot in our group named Dave Hurd, okay? Dave was I don't know, it's like his elevator was stuck somewhere, you know what I mean? And what he had done is when we got out of the car, no, we were fixing to get out of the car, and he was going to flip his cigarette out the window. It hit the window and fell on the seat. You hear me? And believe it or not, as luck would have it, it had to be Paul Wernley's car. You got me? He would have killed you. All right. And anyway, it did. It burned a big hole in the seat, man. A brand new car. Back then, I mean, that was like your life. Well, anyway, I think there was 5 of us that had been in the car. Well, we all got together, and here you talk about a secret that never got out. I mean, we would have died. I mean, I remember Paul going around, and he actually had the stub, the cigarette stub, and he'd watch us smoke, or he'd watch different people smoking, and if they had that cigarette, he wanted to know if they were at the basketball game. Oh yeah, he was checking it out, trying to find. He wanted to kill them. God Almighty, would he have killed me? Yeah, he would have killed all of us. And I would have killed, if he'd have killed me, I'd have killed Dave. You got that? And that's pretty hard to do after you're dead. But anyway, having said that, what else? Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff went on in high school, and I'm sure it did for you too. And I'll give you another one, just show you how ignorant, or not, yeah, ignorant. Ignorant's a good word. Ignorant doesn't mean you're stupid, it just means you're not aware of something. My senior year, of course, I got to initiate the freshmen too. They had already toned it down a little bit by then, but it was still fun. But my senior year, last month of school, May, we had a policeman come up from San Antonio, Texas, the big city boy. He was a big city guy. And he came up and he talked to the senior class was in the auditorium. There were 60 of us. My graduating class was 60 people. And first of all, he gave us a little lecture about drugs and shit. We didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Kennedy, Texas, it may still be, or it was at that time, the most drug-free city in the whole United States. There was nothing there. Nothing. We didn't even know what it was. So anyway, he's talking about all these things, and then he showed a film, showing like people smoking marijuana, and all. We're going like, what the hell is that? We never did that shit, and what the hell? Why would anybody do it anyway? It didn't make any sense. So anyway, that's one of the things that happened. We were so totally ignorant of a lot of things, and that was one of them. There were no drug dealers, there were no drug addicts, there was no speed, crack, none of that, nothing. We had nothing. We had beer, booze, whiskey and stuff, and maybe wine if somebody chose to do it. But that's it. That was our high. Boy, my mouth's getting dry again. Is your mouth getting dry? Mine is. Das ist good. But yeah, high school in Kennedy, Texas was like, it was small town America times 10. Okay, Friday night football games. And when school was out, there was a big, of course we had the pep rallies. You know what that is? You get everybody in the stand, go team, go, kill, kill, kill. You know what I mean? And you get to see all the cute little cheerleaders. Yeah, and it brings back old memories. But anyway, yeah. And then was I a football player? Yeah, I was the worst one on the whole team. The whole team. No, yeah, I was. I think I was the worst. I mean, well, I only weighed like 120 pounds. Hell, my equipment weighed more than I did. But anyway, yeah, I'll tell you a quick story. But I know I've told you this before. Some of you may remember. I'll tell it again. But anyway, I was in a game, and I was an end, like right end or something. I don't remember. That's what we called it back then. Anyway, I finally went in. We were ahead 6,000-0, and the coach sent me in, and I actually caught a pass. I did. And it's one of the suicide deals. The routes you run right over. You run about 4 steps out from the line of scrimmage, and then hook a left. I was right when I was going left. And then the quarterback just kind of dumps you the ball, and then all the other guys on the defense kill you. Anyway, and that's what. But I hung on to the ball. I did not fumble. I don't think I could have fumbled. There were so many arms on me and hands that I couldn't have dropped the football if I wanted to. Anyway, we had little face masks in, but there were little bars, and there was no rule about grabbing the face mask because it was brand new. So there were no rules about just reaching up and grabbing that nice little handle that you put out there for them. And they did. They grabbed mine, and when they pulled it, the ear hole, I mean, the helmet turned. Of course, all my equipment was huge. Okay, my little head was, anyway. The helmet turned, and I'm in a pileup. You know, I don't know how many. It seemed like everybody in the whole town was on top of me. You know, so anyway, I'm laying there, and I thought, oh hell, I'm blind. It's over. I'm blind. They blinded me because I couldn't see shit. I couldn't see any lights or anything. Anyway, the pileup started to move away, and then I could see a glimmer of light, and I thought, well, I'm only blind in one eye. Well, they turned the helmet, and I'm looking out the ear hole, with one eye. Sheesh, And I remember one of the football players, one of my buddies came over there, and he straightened the helmet. He said, now can you see better? And I said, yeah, a little bit, thank you. Anyway, coach took me out because he thought I was dead. But that was my career. That was my whole career in football. That was it. Yeah, but it was, I was in shape. I was in good shape. I just wasn't very big. And that's the way that goes. And what else? I played tennis, did good there. And then what else about the old times? Of course, we had every home game after the pep rally, after when school was out, there'd be a long line of cars that would go right down through Main Street, honking the horn. All the football players were in cars with whoever, their buddies, and they'd wave at all the people. The people would be lined up on the sides of the streets. Go, kill, kill, kill. And I don't think we had a winning record at our high school until 62. And we got a coach there named Coach Nelson, and he was a coach from Hale. And he brought another coach with him, another coach from Hale named Coach Walker. And Coach Walker, I thought he was an Indian, is what we were told. And boy, howdy. The first day, for the first time in the history of Kennedy High School, Coach Nelson started what was called football camp. 2 weeks before school started, you actually went and lived at the high school and slept on bunks, ate in the cafeteria, and you stayed there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday night you got off, and then Saturday, Sunday you were home, and then came back on Monday morning for a workout, and that went on for 2 weeks. And yeah, we started out, I think we had like 80 guys show up, to play football, because hell, before it was nothing. Hell, you could just get out there and run a little bit. Not with Coach Nelson, it wasn't. When he got through trimming it down, we didn't even have enough to field a team hardly. I was one of them. I wasn't very good, but I wasn't going to be whipped by that crap. But anyway, I think we might have had 20 guys that made the cut, and even though I didn't get to play, I made the cut. I'd get to play every now and then, but it wasn't. I certainly wasn't a threat to the opposition. But no, but what it was, he worked the hell out of us. Did we win? Yep. We won football games. Why? Because even in scrimmages, we would get to the stadium before the other teams got there, because sometimes you'd have 4 teams, you'd scrimmage, just practice games, but we'd get there before everybody, and we'd start doing wind sprints, and we would run until all the other teams came in and got seated. Okay, that was the start. Okay, then after the stuff was over, we'd start running wind sprints again until everybody left. Huh? When we got through with us, we had a machine. In fact, on the way back from a football game one time, we won, of course. It was in Three Rivers. We had an old bus. We called it the Green Machine, even though we were maroon and white. The Green Machine broke down. He said, that's no problem. Bus driver said, oh hell, what are we going to do now? Coach Nelson said, that's not a problem. All you guys fall out and push it. Good exercise. You kidding me? Here we are, dead tired. Well, anyway, we did. We got out and pushed it over hill and got to rolling down. It started, and that was the end of that story. But yeah, the way I grew up it's like a foreign planet. I feel like maybe I did land on Mars in that video I did. But anyway, guys, it is Friday night, and I just thought I'd do a little reminiscing and let you laugh at some of the silly things that happened to me. And I know in your mind that if you look back on your career in life, beginning in high school and so forth, yeah, you're going to laugh out loud too, because you probably did a lot of stupid things like I did. And yeah, and of course we had a rule when Coach Nelson got there, he had a rule, because he didn't want somebody to just pick like tennis or baseball or basketball and not play any other sport. So he made a rule as the athletic director, that if you played any sports, you had to play them all. All. Okay? Even though you wouldn't be worth crap at them, except for tennis, what he would do there is he'd let them try out for tennis, and if they couldn't even pick up a racket or they didn't know which end to do, well, then they were exempt from tennis. Okay? Of course, I was good at tennis. I won district championship, but nobody knew it. Me and the coach were there. That's it. I mean, big audience. You get them rusty. Anyway, guys, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want. But if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products. Doesn't cost you a penny. Doesn't cost you a penny. Yeah, the way the Amazon link, some of you have been asking about that, the way it works, you know, in the description of all of my videos is a link to Amazon. Click on that, go to Amazon, and buy whatever you want. And during that shopping session, whatever you buy, I get a small commission. Doesn't cost you 1 penny. Enough said about that. Now moving right along. Drink plenty of water. Drink plenty of water. 3 or 4 quarts a day won't hurt you. It's good for you. It'll help you avoid gout, kidney stones. Also help you lose weight. Why? Because you'll be full of water and you won't want to eat so much. Great. And then what else? Take deep breaths. Breathe in deeply through your mouth or your nose, real deep, and hold it for a few seconds. Why? Because it's good for you. It'll help you avoid. It won't help you avoid anything. It'll help you. It'll lower your stress, which lowers your blood pressure. There you go. I got it. And then what else? Stretch, stretch, stretch. Swivel, swivel, swivel. Walk, walk, walk. You know. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Exercise your body once or twice a day. Why? Because that's good for you too. You know what I mean? You'll feel better and you may live longer because of it. And then what else? Stand guard at the door of your mind. Do not let negative Nancy or negative Ned get inside of your head. This is your head, your frontal lobes, your consciousness. Hello, wake up. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you know, life is an adventure. And speaking of adventures, I'll be leaving Sunday morning, going to Lake Colorado City. I called the park and verified everything's okay there, so that's good. And they also told me the park is basically empty and will be for a while. Okay, so I said, that's fine with me. You know, that's good, very good. I just hope I get a decent Verizon signal, so if the videos are a little late or screwed up or whatever, just remember I'm on the road and I'll work it out when I can. So enjoy your weekend, enjoy your life. At ease, bye-bye. Vaya con Dios. Adios.